So Trader just dropped a blog post going over a ton of gameplay information for Vanguard Zombies, and I just want to go over this because there's a lot of changing, like a lot of things changed from Cold War to this game that I just want to go over. And I'm going to be honest with you guys right up front, there's some W's in here, but there is a humongous L there at the end, which we will definitely talk about here. But either way, let's go ahead and jump over to this. And the first thing they talked about was the Dark Ether entities and artifacts. We kind of already know how this is going to work. They just kind of changed the name of, what is this one? This is a energy mine. They changed the name of Ether Shroud, changed the name of Ring of Fire, and changed the name of Frost Blast. And of course, why they changed the name is because now these items or artifacts are now going to be tied to Dark Ether entities, which are kind of take place of the playable characters, which, ideally we want playable characters, but if we're not going to have playable characters and we are going to have an operating system, this is the best possible case scenario, because what they actually do say here is that they'll give us some humor and commentary throughout the game. And the humor, whatever, that'll be cool. Hopefully they give us some funny jokes. Hopefully it'll be funny and all that. But what I'm really interested about is kind of maybe they'll tell us a little bit history of the Dark Ether. Like, we do know that there was a connection between the regular world and the Dark Ether back in ancient times. Like, what was that about? And maybe even further back from that, like, whatever happened to the Apothecarians, Keepers, Dr. Monty, and all that? Like, whatever happened to them? Weren't they in charge of the Dark Ether? Like, where are they at now? So all that stuff should be interesting to figure out. My only concern with this is that I'm never going to use the Frost Blast boy or the Energy Mine boy. I'm only going to ever hear from two of these people because the other ones just may not be as good. So there's that. But as for the abilities themselves, they actually seem like the standard version of the, I guess, Cold War versions of them. Like the Ether Shroud one only lasts for 5 seconds here, and that's how it was standard, which initially made me think there was going to be a crystal system, but there's no mention of the crystal system here again, and also there's reason to believe that it's just not here. So they may have just nerfed these because maybe they thought they were too OP in Cold War, which I'm completely down for because they kind of were, if we're being completely honest. But what I really hope for is that we could upgrade them in-game, similar to another system. But the final thing about this is that they did confirm that more of these are going to come later in throughout the season. I think they said it right over here. Post-launch team will also add new artifacts and additional Dark Ether entities to join the fight. So yeah, we are going to be getting more of these throughout the season, and it seems like even with Season 1, we'll get introduced to more, which should be some fun storyline information that we could deal with whenever we get here. But either way, that's it for the artifacts. Now we have the brand new system, the Altar of the Covenants, which says here we'll have 11 unique covenants at launch that have 32 different upgrades. Now, we'll quickly go over the 11 different covenants that we're going to have. First, Bloodlust. Melee attacks do more damage and heal you. Resurrectionist. Revive allies faster. Brain Rot. Chance to turn enemies to your side. Crowd Freeze. Chance to slow enemies. Death Blow. Critical kills return bullets to the clip. Ammo Gremlins. Stowed weapons refill ammo from stock automatically. Dead Accurate. Consecutive hits on the same enemy do more damage. Splatterfest. Enemies killed by explosives may explode. Unholy Ground. Deal more damage while stationary. Cult of the Weak. Deal more damage to slowed or stunned enemies. And then finally, Motherload. Chance to keep equipment after using them. So honestly, none of them are like really stand out crazy to me, but they may get more powerful because, as I mentioned, they have an upgrade system here. And they do use an example of Cult of the Weak, because Cult of the Weak initially will do plus 50% damage, to damage or slowed or stunned enemies. But when it gets upgraded, or not upgraded because you just have to randomly get a chance to get it after completing an objective when buying it with the heart, as you guys can see here, there's a legendary version, there's epic and all that stuff. And when you get a chance to get a legendary version, it will go all the way up to plus 100% base damage in addition to plus 100% critical damage. So we see they do get upgraded with more. We'll probably have to wait till we actually get the game to go over all the different upgrades and all the different possibilities for them and which ones are really the best ones for all this. But either way, seems like an interesting system, but I don't know if these are the ones to really like make the best out of this system, because I really love the idea of it, but these abilities just don't seem too crazy to me. Also, mixing the alternate ammo types with this seems a little weird to me, and the fact that we only have 2 of them, that's weird. But either way, for the most part, or actually the last one I want to mention is Resurrectionist. Revive allies faster, which should be Quick Revive's ability, which is interesting when we get to perks because Quick Revive is back. So it's interesting that that's been mixed into a covenant. So I don't know, we're going to have to wait till we see to get our hands on it. I love the idea of it, but I just don't know if these are the right ones to really show off how cool this Covenant system could really be. But either way, now for the perks. So we're going to have 5 on launch, and they're all going to be perks that we've seen in the past. Now, they may not seem because of look at these names, but they are, because if we look at this is Fiendish Fortitude, increased health, Jug in other words. Diabolical damage, increased critical damage, Deadshot Daiquiri in other words. Venomous Vigor, boost health regen speed, which is kind of the new Quick Revive, which, as I mentioned earlier, one of Quick Revive's ability has been mixed into Covenant, which is something I don't like, but hey, whatever. Then we have Demoness Frenzy boost reload speed, Speed Cola, and we have Ethereal Haze boost movement speed, which is stamina, obviously. So I don't really get why they renamed all of the perks. I mean, maybe for the whole theme and everything, but to me, it's just like your Treyarch, like just call them what they are. I just don't really get the whole idea of just renaming perks that we already know what it's going to be. But besides that little nitpick, there's actually something really cool about this perk system, because the tier system is back and you can upgrade these perks. But the best thing about it is that you upgrade them in game. Thank goodness. I personally was not a fan of the crystal system at all in Cold War. I thought it was just a terrible system, but this just sounds so much better, because this is what I thought Cold War was going to be. You could upgrade the perks not out of game, but actually in game as you play. Now, how this actually is going to work is that once you get access to the perk machine, it's actually going to be free. You don't have to pay anything for tier 1 of this. But how you upgrade it is that you come back to the perk and you pay more. So tier 1, as I mentioned, is free. Then tier 2 is going to be 2,500 essence. Then tier 3 is going to be 5,000. And tier 4 is going to be 7,500 essence to get it fully upgraded. And this just sounds really cool. And for an example, as they use here for Jug or Fiendish Fortitude, initially is going to only give you 25 plus health, but tier 1, but as you go up all the way to tier 4, it's going to be plus 100 health. Absolutely love this idea. Seems really cool. I just wish this is what Cold War did, but I'm just glad to see a system like this introduced into the game right now, because I just love the idea of getting stronger and stronger as longer you play, and having a system like that really gives us that instead of just doing it out of game. That just seemed dumb to me. I really like that. Now, the thing is that how exactly is it going to work if you go down? Like, if you go down, are you going to have to buy the perk all the way back from 25 to 5,000 to 75? Like, is that how it's going to work? Well, actually, no. How they actually explain this is that when you go down, you're just going to drop a tier from what your perk is currently at. So if you have them all upgraded at tier 4, all of them are going to drop down to tier 3. And that's going to be pretty expensive, because that's 7,500 times 5. So, yeah, it's a lot of money. But still, I like this system overall. This seems like maybe it could get a little bit expensive, but you know, overall, I do like the idea of this a lot. Hopefully, the whole expensive part doesn't really throw this system out the window, because it's the one thing I can imagine that could be annoying about it. But overall, I love the idea of this, and this is what Cold War should have done. But now we have Pack-a-Punch and weapons. And one thing I have to start off saying right away is that they just got rid of weapon rarity. I mean, weapon rarity is here, but it's not really here, for being completely honest, because they just made the weapon rarity into your Pack-a-Punch level, which I said this before, I didn't really think too much about the rarity system in Cold War Zombies. It was there, I didn't care about it, and that's how I feel like most people felt about it, is like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So what Treyarch just said, well, just get rid of it if no one cares about it, right? And because of this, I do like the idea of this. And how they're actually going to work with this is that you have the white rarity of your gun is just going to be your guns unpacked. Blue rarity is going to be Pack-a-Punch level 1, purple rarity is going to be Pack-a-Punch level 2, and orange rarity is going to be level 3, all the way max packed, which is interesting, because they actually changed up the pricing, not for Pack-a-Punch level 3 or Pack-a-Punch level 2, but Pack-a-Punch level 1. Now, to initially Pack-a-Punch is going to cost 7,500 essence, which I don't really get the point of that, but, you know, they increased price for that for whatever reason. But after that, of course, is going to be like it was in Cold War, 1,500 or 15,000 for level 2, and then 30,000 for level 3. So, you know, those stayed the same, but the initial one didn't, which, again, I don't get the point of that. But either way, that's how that's going to work. Now, one interesting thing about this is that they do mention you could actually get guns that are a Pack-a-Punch from the boss zombies. They have a chance of dropping them. And on top of that, the mystery mystery box could now have a chance to give you a pack-a-punch gun, which seems really interesting. And hey, I'm all here for that idea. I hope that's like on higher rounds, because imagine how nice it's going to be on higher rounds. Let's say you're on like round 50, 60 or something like that, and you're speeding the box and the guns aren't pack-a-punch. You already know you have the money to pack-a-punch them, but you know, you just have to get it in pack-a-punches. This just gets rid of that little journey that you have to go on. So I hope it's kind of like how the rarity system worked in the past. Like lower rounds, you don't have a great chance of getting it with pack-punch, but later rounds, like it's almost guaranteed to get a fully packed gun right away, which personally, I'm all here for that if that's how that's going to work. Now, they do mention the class system here, which they just really mention how it's going to work. We already knew that you're going to spawn in with a full gun, which with all attachments you have unlocked and everything, and also with your artifacts. So we already knew that. They do mention that there's going to be ones on launch that you can't customize, like the preset loadouts, which I don't think we care about, so we're not going to talk about, so we'll skip over that. And this is just them talking about a new thing every match, because it's going to work a little bit different here compared to, I guess, Outbreak. And the example they use is that sometimes you'll have access to only a single corridor in Shionuma, and others you'll have access to both floors of the main hunt. So it seems like you're going to have different areas to work with sometimes, which, okay, I don't know. I don't really have like a strong opinion on that, but yeah, whatever. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But finally, I want to end this video off talking about Season 1 and beyond, because this is where a couple L's come in. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't really want to talk about it, so we'll just read it straight from what Treyarch said. Starting December 2nd, new zombies content and features will begin to roll out for Vanguard, including a new objective, additional covenants, new weapons, new zombie season challenges, holiday-themed updates, and more. Now, you may realize something is missing there, but there's no round base, not even a mention of round base in the entirety of Season 1, which is concerning. And, maybe they just didn't say there, maybe it's going to come mid-Season 1, and, it's just going to be a situation like that. Like, in Cold War, I mean, Firebase Z came in Season 1, but they didn't mention that initially at all, right? Or even with the Reloaded, they didn't mention it, and mentioned it, like, later, right? So maybe it's going to be a situation like that. But then they say this: players will also encounter some surprising elements later in the Season 1 that will set the stage for our upcoming main quest. The main quest isn't going to be there at launch. Is that the vibes I'm getting right now? There's not going to be a main quest at launch. And more than that, is it even going to be in Season 1? Because they only say it's going to be later in the season, there's going to be a main quest. They said players will also encounter some other surprise elements later in Season 1 that will set the stage for an upcoming main quest. What is going on here? What is going on? Please tell me this is a joke. This just seems like a joke. Like, legit, I'm going to become a Warzone streamer if this is going to happen, right? Like, dude, what is going on here? The main quest isn't going to be there at launch. It's not even going to be there with Season 1. Who knows if we're even going, like, when round base is going to come, or if it's ever going to come at this point, because, my gosh, I don't even know. But I guess let's just finish reading this. Main quest will be tied to the arrival of unexpected ally after Season 1. So it's 100% after Season 1. I didn't even see this, but yeah, it's after Season 1. So main quest, not at launch, not at Season 1, but Season 2. Great. Great. I told you guys, I warned you guys at the start of the video, there's going to be a humongous L here at the end. After all that good that we went over, then we have a humongous L to end this off. Great. Leaving a good taste in our mouth, Treyarch. Thank you. Which will further expand the narrative of the Dark Ether and reveal more details about the characters, entities, players that will encounter thus far. Check out the Call of Duty blog post, no one cares. Post-launch items will add a new artifacts. So yeah, we already talked about it. New artifacts in Dark Ether entities join the fight against the ancient enemy artifacts. Each entity will bring their own unique powers and personalities to the game. We also got a new song, Damned, which is nice. You've probably been, maybe I added in the background of this, but, whatever. Either way, yeah, humongous L. Yeah, we kind of ended that off not great. We went over a lot of good. And then we just, it was like I don't even know. To be honest, though, I will say this. I'm not even joking when I say this. If you are like a person who buys Call of Duty for zombies, I'm personally not. I love multiplayer. I'm excited for Warzone 2, so I'm buying Vanguard regardless because those look really good. But if I'm being completely honest, if I'm like someone who just plays for zombies and nothing else, I'm probably not picking up this game until like later on. I'm probably not picking up until next year because it doesn't seem like there's going to be enough content like initially. It doesn't seem like it's going to be fun, and it might just ruin everybody's experience if they play it right away where there's just nothing there. Where if you get it a couple months down the road, it probably going to be a lot better, and probably you could get the game on cheap at that point. But either way, guys, that's about it for this video. I love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about. Probably everything's going to be focused on that last part, to be completely honest. But anyways, we'll try to keep positive going forward. I'll just maybe focus on multiplayer wars. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to go. I'll get you guys an extreme video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.